help, my breastfeeding baby is biting. What do I do? Let's break it down. If your baby is under 6 to 8 weeks and you feel like baby is gumming, biting, or clamping at the breast, that is usually a sign that your baby is in a shallow latch. If baby is latched deeply to your nipple, they can't bite you. When the nipple touches their gums, it triggers a bite reflex. So if you're not getting baby into a good position for your initial latch, they're basically going to take your nipple and go slurp, slurp, bite, bite, bite until they get it into a good deep latch. So step one is make sure your baby is in a good position before attempting to latch. You want to have their chin on the breast first with a wide open mouth where you're trying to aim your nipple to the roof of their mouth instead of trying to bullseye it in. This avoids them going bite, bite, bite to get into that deep latch. Once your baby's latched, if you still feel like they are gumming and biting, that is usually a sign that the baby has a tongue tie, where the tongue is doing what we call snap back. It's not able to come out and stay out for the duration of the feeding. So every time that tongue pulls back because of that restricted tongue, it causes the baby to then trigger that bite reflex. So they go bite, 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 gum, gum, gum. So if you have a young baby under 6 to 8 weeks and you feel like they're biting, please work with a qualified IBCLC lactation consultant to first work on position and latch, and to second rule out that there is a tongue tie causing that biting. Once your baby is over 3 to 4 months, when breastfeeding is well established, your baby may bite you. Sometimes it happens around 4, 5, or 6 months when baby starts teething. I want you to remember that your baby often is not intentionally biting you the first time it happens. What can happen is as they come off the breast into a shallow latch, they may nip you. This is often just they are falling asleep and they are now not maintaining that latch. And as those gums rub across those teeth, it triggers that bite reflex. If you feel like your baby is biting at the end of the feeding after milk has slowed as they are coming off, one strategy is to just watch the baby. And when you start to see them slow down in their feeding, they start to go into that flutter sucking, take them right off so they don't have the chance to go into that shallow latch to bite. Some first bites may also be, I'm discovering my mouth and my gums are a little sensitive because I'm going to start teething. If you feel like your baby is biting because of teething, make sure that your baby has plenty of opportunity to chew outside of breastfeeding times. If your baby is looking for that comfort and pressure through their gums, if your breast is the only thing going in their mouth, they're going to use you as that chew toy. So if you have a 3, 4, 5-month-old baby that is starting to bite during breastfeeding, make sure that they're getting lots of opportunities to bite and chew through teething toys or tools. You can find that list of my favorite tools on my website at lalactation.com. You also want to, if you have an older baby, 5, 6, 7 months, that's biting at the breast, make sure to give them lots of opportunities to chew textured foods so they can get that good input through their gums outside of breastfeeding times. Now, when your baby actually bites, there are a couple strategies that you can do. Instead of yelling and going, ouch, which may surprise and startle the baby, try to maintain as calm as possible. Remove the baby as soon as possible. Pop your finger into the corner of their mouth, break the latch and seal, pull them off and say, ouch, that hurt mommy. Keep them off for a second or two, and then try to relatch. Usually the first time a baby bites, it's a surprise to both of you. The baby often, again, is coming into that shallow latch. They're at the end of a feeding and they did not mean to bite you. So usually just by taking the baby off, looking at them and say, ouch, that hurt me, is enough for them to be aware that, oh, I did something different. Then attempt to relatch them. If you think that your baby is starting to bite because of a behavior, that's a different strategy. So if your baby accidentally bit you in a shallow latch, if your baby bit you during teething, if teething toys aren't working, try some pain relief to help numb those gums. If it now becomes a behavior, that's a different strategy. Some babies learn, oh, that's kind of fun to get a reaction out of mom. So when that happens, it's time to distract. You're either letting baby feed, and as soon as you start to see the behavior, you're stopping before they get into that play mode. Or if they start biting, end the nursing session, go distract, go play, go do some other things, and come back again to prevent that little baby shark from continually nipping you. If you find that the baby is biting you at the beginning of feedings and they're teething, again, try doing some teething toys, some other chewable solids before you get into that feeding session. If you find that your baby has bitten you and it has now caused damage, you will want to still try to continue to feed on that side to maintain your milk supply. But if the damage is too much, it's too painful, or you're concerned that your baby will bite you again, you can always pump on that side until it heals, and then come back once that nipple has healed and the behavior slows down. If you have severe damage, please see my other video on nipple damage to make sure that we can get that healed. Every once in a while, if you have a behavioral biter, you can also try a nipple shield. Some babies who had this when they were younger for working on latch may go onto that shield just fine. It will kind of remind them, hey, we need to have a good deep latch here. And other babies will be like, what the heck? I have never seen one of these or used one of these, and I'm not going to latch to that. So it's only a strategy if you've already used one prior in your breastfeeding journey, if you and the baby are both used to using that tool. But in general, know that your baby is most likely not going to do that on purpose the first few times it happens. And if it becomes a behavioral issue, you can also work with a lactation consultant such as myself to help with other strategies. As always, like my video, share my video, and subscribe. Now you know.